フルカウンター。
Alright boys, welcome back to the Grand Cross video. Today we have a special one because we now have a little Q&A from the Grand Cross devs themselves, Netmable, answering questions on behalf of the community sent in by Regis. Regis, if you don't know, is a renowned leaker in the community, but also actually has contact at Netmable, people that actually work on the game, so he's able to actually talk to them, and we've now got a set of questions and answers from him, both for Grand Cross and also Origins, which is a little bit spiced in here, but we're going to focus more on Grand Cross, right, because Origins is so far away, it basically means nothing. But let's start off. So the first question we have here, will he ever make any combo ults again? They were amazing mechanic, or consider any other character synergies? And the answer, once again, I gotta stress the point here, boys. A lot of answers aren't too great, but we're gonna talk about it anyway. The first answer is we're considering ideas for the next gen of units. Now, the next gen of units, what does that mean? Does that just mean the next characters coming after a new power creep? Are we in the new gen with obviously Mael and the goddesses? Or could this be 4 Knights? Once again, I might be reading too much into it, but 4 Knights, like they said, they want to go back to a pre-launch mindset, and 4 Knights is the way to do that. So if we do get a lot of characters, then again though, at least from reading the series, to my memory, there aren't that many lot of combo ults. Where we look towards the end of the series, especially towards the Sins and Geldar and many other final fights, even throughout the whole story of 7 Days Sins, there are definitely a lot more combined ultimates that we could see come to the game. But also, I want to stress the point too, when characters don't have combined ultimates, but they're based off the ones you've already had combined ultimates for example, I'm sure most of you lot have played Gopher before, and Gopher will use his actual ultimate during 5 because he has the combined ultimate with King, where Shuna, for example, has the same ultimate, but you can't get it to drain 5. So if anything, what they need to do is when the character's ultimates what could be combined is, they should just make it the highest multiplier possible. This is a question I've been wanting for a while, and it's a good way to do it. I'll explain it in a second, but are you considering making an item or something similar towards leveling up characters' ultimates without requiring an actual dupe? And the answer, yes, this is the answer. Events with collaboration units are planned. Sick. So I've spoken about this before, and every coin had a different shape. However, I think if they were to add, you know, universal dupe items into the game, they should make it only for standard SSR coins. So you can't use for festivals because you have the spiky ones, and also if you are a collaboration, you have a different shape one too. So if anything, it will only work for these characters on screen now, basically, which still wouldn't be that bad. Leducio, for example, just came out. It would be nice to get him duped out. Seasonals are very, very rare, and a lot of them aren't even good, but to get them duped out because you're a favorite character, it would be nice. Once again, it wouldn't break the game because a lot of the meta characters right now, if not all the meta characters, are either collabs or festivals. And if they implement it the way I think they should do it, you can't actually use this universal dupe coin onto your characters. It wouldn't change much, but it'd be a nice way to get, like, for example, Ozenhawk. I've been wanting to get this guy 6-6 for like 2 years now. Once again, it wouldn't break the game if I could spend some deep coins onto him, but yeah, this is a bit annoying. But at least more collabs are planned. Yay. Are you going to expand Guild Wars so many people can play it? We have tried different formats and styles. Nothing is set in stone yet. Once again, kind of an empty answer here. It means basically nothing. Once again, Guild Wars, I think the way they implement it in Grand Cross is not that great, not that fun. I doubt we'll do it to get like Clash of Clan levels, but I remember back in the day with Clash of Clans, it was a hype time to do your Guild Wars or your Clash or your Clan Wars. Once again, I don't know if they can do that, but when it's a gacha game and like you have to level up characters, I don't know. But if they do the universal one where everyone has like no gear on, like it's just ungeared. But the problem is Constellation still exists, so I don't really care too much about Guild Wars, and neither should you, to be honest with you lot. It's not a fun game mode. It's yeah, it's not great. What are your thoughts of improving old characters, such as giving them best stats and improving their ultimates? It comes up quite often, but nothing has been decided yet, not to affect any future units. This may be a bit of a hot take, but honestly, I don't really care about them buffing up old characters. Sure, if we get a new one, if we do get a final color off the character missing like Gloxinia, I would want to buff it, but I don't really care about them just buffing up like Jericho, for example. I'd rather them just make a new Jericho. I know that might be a bit, you know, not the best thing because you have to summon for it again, but it's just better, I think, to summon new characters. Even though the character buff could be quite helpful, I'd rather summon new characters, and I want them to make more standard SSRs and not always be festivals, OCs, and Ragnaroks. And then the final question, and end off with a bang here, this is literally what I would have asked them probably, is that in the future, will units like Nerabasa and Guerrero be in the game? And he actually gave us the answer, and this is what I've been saying in my videos. They will be seasonal units, but only if there's sufficient material for us to work with. So if you don't know what this means, we have to go towards Zeldris here. Omnis Nibba Zeldris is a seasonal, and the reason why, even though he shouldn't have been one, the reason why is because his skills are completely made up and not based off from story mode, like the actual story of 70 Sins. And Nerabasta never fights at all in the game, so they would have to make something up for her, which means she will be a seasonal character. Greyroad does fight a little bit, I guess, so I guess he could be an actual playable character. But Neobasta, I did predict will be an actual seasonal character. But also someone like, you know, Sario, who literally only appears for like 20 seconds and then basically just leaves the body. She, for example, if they were to make her a character, would be a seasonal just because she doesn't fight, and the moves that she would do will most likely be seasonal themed rather than, you know, her wind ability that she would have, because she doesn't do an actual series. You have to make something up, so therefore it warrants her being a seasonal. So once again, Neobasta, once again, kind of bad because Neobasta should be a backline support, but we'll take him, man. Neobasta should be a seasonal, especially since the outfit, she doesn't want anything new. Grero, I think, could be a normal character, but I'll wait and see. So that's probably the best answer we've got from the whole Q&A at this point. We got some more questions, obviously, from devs based on Origins. Origins obviously been the new sequel to Seven Sins. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's the biggest thing coming out probably next year for Netmable. But will Origins feature Ragnarok and or Catastrophe units? The answer is there are some events planned, but I can't say too much here. Probably a bit of a hot take again here. I don't really care about OCs or Ragnaroks. I don't really want them in the game, to us of you lot. I just don't care too much. I mean, yeah, I like Miguel as much as the next guy, right? But I don't care about them in the game. The OC characters are all cringe, to be fair. I don't really care either. If anything, maybe when we get the new OC storyline in Grand Cross, we get more depth and more lore towards the characters and more OC characters in the game, then maybe I'd care. But honestly, I'm not going to summon regardless, so I don't really care too much. The biggest one here, will cryptocurrencies and NFTs be in Origins? And the answer is, I can't answer that. Maybe this developer doesn't actually know because, once again, they may be just making the game, right? The NFT stuff may come behind the scenes with, obviously, Netmable. But what I will say is, though, very, very unlikely. I mean, it's just no way, right? They're not going to ruin the game. If there is an NFT game, it would absolutely kill the game. I would probably not even play it. But not to mention this, but NFT and especially the crypto market has been crashing lately. It is an absolute sham than it was obviously like 2 years ago or like a year ago, for example. So NFT games in general are just dead, and it's just not going to happen. They're just not going to do it. Will there be plans for collabs for Origins just like in Grand Cross? And it's just straight up saying yes. That's actually kind of insane. So we can expect to see probably AOT, because AOTs in literally every gacha game or every game that hands out IPs. But this would be kind of cool though, because you have seen from the actual trailers that you can play as Diane, and Diane will be massive. So to run around as Diane will be sick in game, but if you could run around as Titan Eren, this would possibly be the best actual AOT game ever made. Maybe Fortnite's taking the actual crown right now, but if you can just like be a player as Eren and then you ultimately transform into Titan Eren, you beat up people, it would be so sick, and I'd love to see it in game. Not to mention we can get other collabs like I guess other things, other animes would be nice to see too, but yeah, it'd be nice to see it. Aside from Ragnarok and the Catastrophes, will there be any original characters? They do say they are working on something special. I mean, we already know there literally is. We've seen in the trailer there's a new like fairy pink hair girl, so you are doing new OC characters, which is basically already confirmed. Which again, I don't mind to see new characters, but if we're going as, I just don't want to summon for Valenti Lilia again. For me, not see lost. So yeah, I'd rather them do new OCs rather than ones from Grand Cross. Keep it to Grand Cross and keep it to Origins, but we'll see. Will there be PvP in Origins? We are looking into ways to implement the PvP in a healthy way. I mean, once again, gacha games are always terrible for PvP in a way, right? Because it's always going to be paid to win. So the fact they say healthy way is a good sign in a way, but then again, they want to make money, so I don't know. But I mean, to be fair, more content in the game, why wouldn't you want it? But the game will be better if it has it rather than not having it. So I guess I would want it in general, right? Plus, it'll be good ways to make more content. So, but yeah, boys, that is going to wrap up the Q&A. Honestly, a lot of these answers were just, yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we're working on it. But also, the person working on Netmable, this dev actually answering the questions here, may not even know everything too. So, we have to wait and see what comes through here. Once again, this doesn't necessarily mean anything, but I think the biggest one for me, at least from the actual Grand Cross section, is the future units like Neobasta and Grilled. They have confirmed they will be seasonal units, so my theory is basically true here. So, it's nice to see. So, if you are a Goddess Simp or Neobasta, or I guess Greyroad Simp, then probably start saving, because these characters will be quite rare, and you probably want to summon for them. And also going back towards the combined ultimates, the fact that you say next gen could mean actual 4 nights here, so I guess I'm looking forward to that. So, but yeah, boys, that's going to wrap up today's video. We'll have a video out later today using Will and Escanor. Quite a weird combo to see, but it's surprising it does work, so stay tuned for that one. So, boys, thank you for watching, and yeah, peace.